Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. Also make sure you turn off your hot and cold water supplies. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the Kenmore Washer Lid Latch assembly. It's going to be a very easy repair and it should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the new Lid Latch assembly. The Lid Latch assembly is what tells the washer if the lid is open or closed. The main reason to be changing it out is if the contacts inside have gone bad and the washer is not working correctly. In order to get to the part, we have to take off the control panel. We're going to use our 1/4-inch nut driver to remove the 3 screws across the back. You don't have to take these screws totally out. You just have to loosen them up so we can remove the console cover. Now that you have those 3 screws loose, we're going to remove this small panel right here. We're going to use the same 1/4-inch nut driver. All you have to do is take out the screw and set the little panel aside. Now that we have the access panel off, we can lift the console up. All you have to do is rotate it towards the top of the machine and let it rest carefully down. Normally we would just leave it on here while we work, but since we also have to lift the top up, we're going to disconnect the blue wire harness that comes down. All you have to do is press on this tab right here and pull it off the control board. Once you have the wire harness disconnected, you can set this panel off to the side so it's out of the way. Now that we have the control panel out of the way, we can cut this zip tie that holds the wire harnesses together. We're going to use our wire cutter to cut that off. Once you have the zip tie off, we have to unplug the door latch assembly from the control board. All you have to do is press down on the release lever and pull it out. Then we have to take these wires in this air tube from out behind this little plastic piece and then pull the wire harness out. Then we have to feed it through to the inside so we can take the latch out once we open up the cabinet. With the wire harness through the cabinet, we're going to lift the top up. The first thing we're going to do is tape the lid down. It's going to float free, and when we lift it up, we don't want it to bang around. Before we lift the top up, you want to make sure that you're ready to support it. If you're going to lean it against the wall, you want to make sure you have a towel against the top to protect the top and the wall so you don't dent it. If you don't have any way to support it in the back, you can make a strap, and once it's up, you can hook it on each end to support the top. Now that we're ready to lift the top up, we're going to take a putty knife and go about 6.5 inches in from each corner. There's a spring clip in here that you have to press and release to be able to lift the top up. Once you hit it, you'll know it. You can feel it push the putty knife back out. Once you have the top lock pushed in, and if you rotate it and twist it and it won't come up, on each corner there's a pin that's threaded and there's a hole that goes over it as the top goes down. So if you're ever having a hard time lifting it up, try pulling forward on the back and then lifting up on it. And that'll help get that bracket off the pin. Then you can do the other side. Alright, now that we have the top released, we can carefully lift it up. And we're going to hook our strap right here on this little hole in the frame. And then underneath the top lock, it should be pretty sturdy. Make sure it's in there good. And then you can let the strap hold the top. Now that we have the top of the washer open, we have access to the lid latch. As you can see, it runs up the right side of the top and over to the actual latch. All we need to do first is take out this wire retainer. If you take a small screwdriver and press in on each side, we'll pull out softly, it'll just come right out. Once you have it out, we can go along and lift up on these metal retainers and remove the wiring harness. Once you have the wire harness released, we can use our 1/4" nut driver to remove the latch. To get the latch out, all we're going to do is take these 2 screws out so we can get it out of the way so we can put the new one in. Once you have the lid latch out, make sure this piece is okay and stays in place. It shouldn't move because the top is there. Just make sure you don't lose it. Here's the old lid latch assembly next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at appliancepartspros.com. To put the lid latch in, we're going to slide it up onto the legs on that plastic piece. Once you have it in place, we can use the 1/4" nut driver to put the screws back in. Then we can reroute the wire harness. All you have to do is lift it into place and get it underneath these little tabs. Once you have all the metal clips on, you can carefully press in the wire retainer. All you have to do is line it up and push it into the hole. Once you have the wire tie pushed into place, we have to carefully feed this wire harness plug through the hole. If the wire harness and the air hose are in the way, you may have to push them over a little bit to the side. Then we can feed this through so we can plug it back into the main control board. Once you have it routed through the back hole, we can lower the top down. We're going to carefully take our strap off. All you have to do is unhook it from the frame and the lock. Then we can carefully lower the top down. You want to make sure as you lower it down that this hole where we have the strap, there's one on each side, goes over this stud right here so that the top will go down all the way. You may have to actually reach to the back of the washer and pull the whole top this way a little bit to get it to go down. Now that we have the top down, we can take the tape off. All you have to do is pull it off carefully. Now that we have the top down, we can reroute the wire harness into the little cutout here. We're going to get it in there and then make sure we get this other wire harness in behind it like it was. Then we can take it over and plug it into the control board. Remember, all you have to do is press it into place so it locks in. Now that you have the lid latch plugged in, we can replace the zip tie. We're going to go underneath these wire harnesses and around the lid latch, but it didn't include this black and gray one, so we're going to go under that and then around the harness back here. Once you have the zip tie tightened down, you can cut the excess off with the wire cutters. Now we can put the console back on. You want to very carefully set it down, and then we're going to reconnect the wire harness. Same as when you took it off, we're going to put it right in the spot that's labeled blue and press it in so it locks into place. Once you have it plugged in and secure, we can rotate the console back over. You want to make sure that these 5 tabs go into the proper slots. Then you want to kind of rotate the panel just like when you took it off and look underneath and make sure those go into the proper slots. Once you have the tabs lined up, you can press it down into place. And then we can use our 1/4" driver to put the screws in. Before we screw it down, make sure you put the small little access panel back on. And then we can tighten down the screws across the back console. Now that you have the washer put back together, you can plug it back in, turn the water back on, and take it for a spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.